A population of giants once roamed freely throughout the plains and savannas of the African continent. These giants are still the largest land-dwelling mammals on Earth, but today they are in a constant battle for survival. Vramba is the matriarch of a clan of lucky survivors of these terrible years when elephants were slaughtered for their ivory tusks. During their migration to new territories, Vramba and her companions will encounter numerous obstacles, ordeals that will gradually force them into an increasingly restricted area. At the mercy of the last remaining ivory hunters, Vramba must lead her family to safety in the remotest parts of Africa. The old matriarch can rely only on her own intelligence and memory when faced with the often harsh conditions of nature. And yet, happy events do occur in Vramba's clan. This morning, Tara is gradually recovering from a long and sleepless night. She has just given birth to a healthy calf weighing around 100 pounds. It's time for Tara to introduce her baby to the rest of the clan. Pongo is the latest addition to Vramba's clan. After repeated efforts, Pongo manages to stand up within just a few hours. The arrival of a baby brings about major changes in the clan's daily life. The female elephants become babysitters and relieve Tara by taking turns to care for Pongo. From now on, his aunts will focus all their attention on the newborn calf. Vramba is more than 50 years of age. She is too old to reproduce, but thanks to a grandson, the old matriarch rediscovers the joys of motherhood. Ensuring that this young male reaches adulthood will not be easy. 1 in 3 elephants dies before it is 15 years old. Pongo's elder sister is only 5, but like all the other females, she shows a strong interest in the baby elephant. Pongo will live surrounded by females, which will pass on their knowledge to him. Equality does not exist in the elephant's world. The mothers and young females govern a clan, composed of babies and a few young males. All born into the same family, the females live together in perfect harmony and never leave each other. Whenever females meet, they memorize each other's identity through smell and touch. In this way, elephants can identify up to 200 of their fellow creatures, belonging either to their own group or other family units. Their social life extends well beyond the confines of their own clan. Eager to play, Pongo constantly seeks his aunt's attention. He approaches each of them in turn, and most of them respond in a friendly way. But the situation becomes far more delicate when he suddenly decides to bother a young male. These young males will have nothing to do with a baby elephant whose existence they have barely noticed. Caring for babies is strictly a female affair. Pongo learns his lesson and takes refuge between Tara's legs. The younger males have other preoccupations. While the females make every effort to ensure harmony within their community, the males spar and test each other's strength. Pongo remains cautiously on the sidelines while keeping an eye on his big brothers. These sparring matches are important for establishing a hierarchy in adulthood. Females in heat will not let just any male approach them. They always choose the strongest elephants as mates. And so, some males have to wait until they are 40 before they can reproduce. These incessant clashes disrupt the harmony of the family. This is why the females drive the males out of the clan when they reach 12 years of age. The males then form their own groups. These two males are now aware of each other's strength. If they were to meet again to vie for a female's attention, the weaker of the two would give way to the dominant male, thus avoiding a mortal combat. Young elephants of both sexes rehearse the roles they will have to perform when they reach adulthood. The males memorize combat techniques, and the females refine the skills necessary for guaranteeing their family's survival. True to character, Vramba and her companions have formed a defensive position around the young elephants to protect them from the male's roughness. Vramba and her clan have lived here for a long time, too long. They have to share this territory with other families, and the dry savanna no longer provides enough grass for them all. Pongo is only 2 weeks old and still wants to suckle every 10 minutes. But Tara no longer has enough milk. She needs her daily ration of grass and water far more than any other adult. Pongo is beginning to grow weak. Fortunately for the species' survival, the different elephant clans live together in peace. They do not compete for territory or food. Each family fends for itself, and its survival depends on the matriarch's intelligence. After several years of experience, each matriarch remembers the paths leading to the best feeding areas. If Pongo survives, it will be thanks to his grandmother, Vramba. The land has given all it has to offer, or almost. There are still a few thin roots which the elephants dig up by scraping away the soil. Pongo continues his apprenticeship by scrupulously imitating his elders' behavior. During the first 3 months, all the baby elephants try as best they can to achieve good coordination. Faint with hunger, Pongo mistakes an aunt for his mother. His aunts have no milk to give him, and his mother hardly has any either. The elephants have exhausted all this territory's resources. The clan's survival now depends on the matriarch's decisions. Vramba knows that she has to lead the clan to another territory. She leads the clan in single file towards a forest, which is a day's walk away. This is a journey Pongo should be able to manage. Every year, the elephants are confronted with the problem of finding the best grazing areas. When the dry season arrives, they leave the plains for the forests, where they can feed on leaves. In the wet season, they abandon the trees and return to the green savanna. The matriarch decides when it is the appropriate time to leave and where the clan should go. Vramba learnt everything she knows from her own mother and the clan's other females, which looked after her 40 years ago. Today, she passes on her knowledge to the young elephants in her own family. The matriarch is the herd's collective memory. She carries with her almost a century's worth of memories. As the clan nears its destination, the vegetation becomes greener, but many dead trees litter the ground. Other herds of elephants have already passed through here and left their mark on the landscape. Of all the large herbivores, the elephant has the most profound effect on the environment. Elephants thin out the forest, but also play a critical role in maintaining the savanna. Rich in seeds, the elephant's dung fertilizes the soil and helps new plants to grow. Pongo and his family have arrived at their destination, but the place bears no resemblance to Vramba's recollection of it. On seeing all these dead trees, Vramba freezes on the spot. The forest is unrecognizable as a result of overexploitation of the elephants or a cyclical natural phenomenon. But the problem remains the same. If Tara is dehydrated or does not eat enough, Pongo will be the first to suffer. Weary from his journey, Pongo searches for his mother's teats. Females rarely refuse a baby elephant's demands, but right now, Tara must eat if she is to regain her strength. When there is no grass available, elephants feed on leaves. Their trunks are dexterous enough to clear a path through the bushes and tear off tiny shoots. And once all the greenery has disappeared, there is still bark to eat. Pongo imitates his mother's every gesture as best he can and tries to grasp a few leaves, but he still doesn't have complete control over his trunk. Tara is busy gorging on acacia branches. Pongo pretends to munch some leaves. Although he will continue to nurse on his mother's milk for another 2 years, he must still get used to eating vegetation very early on. All baby elephants have this type of mixed diet until they are fully weaned. In his haste, Pongo has once again mistaken an aunt for his mother. Although he is familiar with his mother's odor, he did not take the time to check. The baby male must master the movements of his trunk. This vital instrument will soon enable him to recognize the members of his group. The female has regained her strength, and Pongo is once again able to nurse. Even though the depleted forest falls short of Vramba's expectations, it will provide the elephants with enough food for several weeks, until the plains are green once more. But fate has decided otherwise. Vramba is the first to notice the presence of poachers. These outlaws are only interested in the price of ivory, and the matriarchs are the most at risk, since they have the longest tusks. If Vramba is killed, the whole clan could well perish. The elephants silently vanish into the undergrowth and leave. By dawn, all that remains are the elephants' tracks through the forest. The clan walked all night to get as far away as possible from the ivory hunters. Elephants can cover some 60 miles per day, but the whole family is so tired that it has slowed its pace. The adults must consider their young. Pongo is on the verge of exhaustion. Vramba finally decides to stop. The grass is lush here, and it will provide the elephants with the energy reserves they need to continue on their way. During the journey, Pongo stayed at his mother's side, bravely following the rhythm of this long, enforced march. At long last, he can rest. Only the youngest lay down, as they wait for their elders to finish their meal. The adults are able to sleep standing up. They only lie down on the ground very late at night, and only then if they are certain they will not be in any danger. Despite her fatigue, Tara keeps a close watch on her son. Although the plain provides them with food, it could easily turn into a trap. Baby elephants are an easy target for hyenas and lions. This well-earned rest will not last long. It would be very dangerous for the elephants to sleep in such an exposed spot. This is the time when the predators start hunting. The old matriarch has given the starting signal. She knows a green spot where water is plentiful, a few miles away. It's understandable that Pongo wants to stay lying down. The baby elephant's troubles aren't over yet. The forest stands out on the horizon, but Vramba's more concerned with smelling the air for any odors which could alert her to a possible danger. One more hour's walk and the elephants will reach safety at the end of the plain. Without their matriarch, the clan would never manage. However, many herds have lost their guides. Today, they wander aimlessly through the African savanna. In the days when the ivory trade flourished, the hunters always killed the oldest elephants first, the only animals which knew the routes to survival. This palm grove is a paradise for all the animals of the savannah. Vramba and her companions quicken their pace. They are thirsty and need to cool their parched skin. Pongo discovers the joys of abundance. Thick yet fragile, an elephant's skin requires constant care. Dust baths and mudding all help protect the skin from insect attacks and sunburn. Elephants love wallowing in swampy hollows. They use their trunks as hose pipes and spray themselves with beneficial mud. Pongo finally has time to remove the remaining parts of the umbilical cord by meticulously scratching himself against this large stone. Vramba has just found a tasty-looking grove. This long, refreshing bath has made the elephants hungry, and they soon join the matriarch under the palm trees. The banquet can finally begin. The clan rarely has the opportunity to feed on such a great variety of delicious plants, and for the youngest members of the group, it's the very first time. But Vramba's clan is not alone in appreciating this idyllic oasis. Taking advantage of the nearby water source, the local farmers have planted their crops on the edge of the palm grove. An unusual sound alerts Vramba to a possible danger. Her fears are then confirmed by an odor she can recognize anywhere: the scent of man. In the days when Swali was matriarch, hunger drove the clan to destroy the cropland. The farmers killed the old female. Swali was Vramba's elder sister. Vramba naturally succeeded her as the clan's leader. Once again, Vramba decides to move camp. Although there is no immediate danger, she is anxious to protect her family. Swali's tragic story could well be repeated. A few miles away, some workers are erecting electric fences to protect the cultivated land. An insurmountable barrier, even for the elephants. Although the purpose of these artificial barriers is to protect both the animals and the villages, they actually have the opposite effect by eventually imprisoning the elephants. And once the elephants have exhausted all food resources, they can easily become aggressive and dangerous. Penning in elephants also prevents the males from seeking out females in other family groups. In the long term, inbreeding weakens the entire species by rendering it more prone to disease. Vramba takes advantage of the night to discreetly circumvent the half-built fences and get away from this trap. Elephants are diurnal, that is, they live by day, but they have found a way to escape man. They have altered their rhythm and walk through the night, constantly moving from one territory to another. Their ability to adapt is one of the keys to their survival. Another clan has joined Vramba's during the night. They will walk together for a while. For the matriarch, this is proof she is on the right track, leading to the foot of the snow-covered mountain. One of the elephants belonging to the other clan has a fresh wound on the end of its trunk. It looks very much like a wound a snare might cause. The farmers frequently set this type of trap. The elephants communicate at a distance by making infrasonic calls. These very low-frequency sounds are well below the range of human hearing. Scientists have observed over 20 different calls, which each elephant answers according to his mood and character. Something in the middle of the plain has caught Vramba's attention. It was here that the clan's former matriarch, Swali, collapsed and died from her wounds. Vramba and the other females in the clan merely have to touch her skull and tusks to recognize her. Old elephants sometimes withdraw to remote areas where the grass is softer and easier to chew. But after a time, their bodies can no longer cope with food. The elephants grow thinner and die of hunger or other natural causes. Unfortunately, this was not Swali's case. A great many books have been written about elephant graveyards. It has often been said that when the old animals sense death approaching, they go to die in a specific spot known to all their fellow elephants. The reality is far less romantic. What men have taken for graveyards are actually mass graves. Hounded by the poachers, families of elephants would group together in enormous herds. All the ivory hunters had to do then was fire into the crowd. Although he does not really understand what is happening, Pongo is drawn to Swali's skeleton too. His elders are going to initiate him into ancestral worship. Vramba's clan is now gathered around the carcass, as if to pay its respects to the deceased. Elephants are the only wild animals which respect their ancestors. They are going to conscientiously scatter Swali's bones. Apparently, elephants are aware that they are killed for their ivory. A recent study has even observed that many African elephants are born without tusks, suggesting they had biologically adapted to an environment which has become hostile. Before pursuing its journey, Vramba's clan will make one final gesture. The elephants are going to hide Swali's tusks in the tall grass to conceal them from potential ivory collectors. This type of behavior is very common and is known as bone worship. The group can now continue on its way to the snow-covered mountain. But before reaching the mountain, the elephants must first cross a river and a vast desert. Another endurance test for Pongo and his mother. The group walked slowly all night to enable the baby elephants to keep up. But Pongo has no strength left. The baby elephant must not leave his mother's side under any circumstances, especially since predators are a constant threat. As they travel along their ancestral routes, families of elephants meet up and sometimes group together in herds of several hundred. They stay together a while, then the groups split to continue their migration. Today, Vramba's family is going to join up with another group of elephants for a while. The contact of water on their skin gives the babies a little boost. While Tara quenches her thirst, Pongo has something to eat. Another baby of the same age doesn't yet know how to use his trunk to drink. Since there are no predators in sight, they can enjoy a moment of carefree fun. These two males are meeting for the first time, so they begin by sizing each other up. The baby elephants also try out intimidating maneuvers. One of them takes his act of bravado so far, he provokes a young male. No matter how much the baby elephant spreads out his ears to appear bigger, he is no match for the giant. Peacefully enjoying each other's company, the two clans spend the rest of the afternoon eating and resting. Pongo has made progress. Every day, he uses his trunk a bit better and can now recognize his mother's odor without the slightest hesitation. Tired from playing, Pongo's playmate also demands a little tenderness from his mother. The sun is about to set, and the little ones are in need of a rest. But the matriarchs have decided otherwise. The matriarch of the other clan leads her group towards the forest to spend the night in the shelter of the trees. They will stay in this region for a while to take advantage of all the river has to offer. The elephants in Vramba's clan remain standing in the water. They will not follow their companions into the forest. And yet again, Pongo will have to stay awake all night. Vramba wants to continue her migration towards the mountain, since she knows that the resources in this region are limited. If her family were to stay here, soon there would not be enough grass for everyone. The elephants stock up on water. The journey promises to be long and hard. They must leave before nightfall to avoid the extreme daytime desert heat. The elephants finally reached the other bank before total darkness. The sun has caught up with the clan. It is just 10 a.m., and already the desert is scorching hot. The elephants' padded soles leave no trace on this dry, crusty earth. However, their dehydrated skin is covered in marks caused by the burning sun. Vramba knows that it is too late to turn back, so she keeps on going, carefully walking at the same pace as Pongo, who is following close behind. The zebras are suffering from the heat. They have lost their bearings in this arid and monotonous terrain. But Vramba knows this territory well, having crossed it already. The elephants have traveled this route to the mountain many times before, but this time the drought is far harsher, and it's especially difficult for the babies. The elephants are 3/4 of the way there. The sun is at its zenith, and the scorching ground becomes increasingly painful. However, the clan's members show no signs of giving up. They all have complete faith in the matriarch's ability to lead them out of this inferno. A few hours later, the earth loosens under the elephants' feet. they come across several trails made by other herds before them. Vramba has led her family to the journey's end, to the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro. It is here that Vramba's exodus ends, until the next journey. The thirsty elephants leave their single file line and rush towards the nearest freshwater pond. Quenching their thirst is a top priority for these long-distance travelers. Their second concern is to rehydrate their skin, which has suffered a great deal from the scorching sun. It is only then that the elephant's thoughts turn to food. Vramba's clan is finally rewarded for all its efforts. Thanks to the matriarch, the clan has reached its destination, and the elephants can now begin to enjoy their new surroundings. These ponds abound with delicious aquatic plants, such as rushes and papyrus, which the elephants are especially fond of. With such abundance, the adults head deeper and deeper into the swamps. The babies will just have to follow them. Pongo has spotted an unfamiliar shape emerging from the water. He has never seen a hippopotamus before. Astonishment gives way to curiosity, but Pongo remains cautiously on the edge of the pond and swims up to meet his mother. Elephants do not usually fear other animals, except for lions and hyenas, which hunt their young. They live in perfect harmony with many bird species. The cattle egrets feed on frogs and insects, which the elephants disturb when they move the grass. But the hippopotamus can become aggressive. Alone, in the middle of the pond, it protects its territory, and no animal would normally dare provoke it. Pongo is totally unaware of the danger. Within a few seconds, Tara is at her baby's side. She leads him out of the water and well away from the master of the pond. Pongo has already overcome many ordeals for a baby of his age, but he would never have managed without the help of his mother and of Vramba. It will be another 10 years at least before Pongo is totally independent. Only then will he begin to distance himself from his clan. The females will eventually exclude him for good. Pongo will join the other males of his age and share their lives for many years. And later he will end up alone, like all old elephants. Vramba's clan is concentrating on eating and has not yet made the acquaintance of the elephants around it. Herds come here from all over Africa to gather and mingle around these permanent swamps. They will only remain here until the first rains. Such gatherings also favor romantic encounters. This old elephant seems to have spotted a female in heat belonging to Vramba's clan. Opportunities to meet females capable of becoming pregnant are rare. With a period of gestation lasting 22 months, followed by 2 years of constantly caring for their calves, female elephants are only available for mating for a few days every 4 years. Although courting can last several hours, mating never takes more than a minute. The other elephants have moved away from the couple, as if to let them pursue their lovemaking in private. Pongo is delighted. He can take each day as it comes, surrounded by his family, but only until the rainy season, when Vromba will want to return to the savannah. The highly nutritional diet her clan will enjoy over the next few months will provide it with the energy to make the long journey back. Protected areas, like this swampy oasis, seem immense and inexhaustible. In reality, they are never big enough to cope with the ecological consequences of an entire population of elephants. After a period of time, the vegetation needs to be able to regenerate. This is the problem currently facing the African reserves, where natural resources are fast being depleted by these animals living in confinement. And so Vromba's clan has found a temporary but vital place of refuge. These elephants owe this reprieve to the memory and intelligence of Vromba, their wise matriarch. One day, Pongo will leave his family, but he will never forget what it has taught him. He will respect his ancestors in a way no other animal is capable of. He will carry with him the memory of his entire clan. Like all male elephants, Pongo will cover many hundreds of miles to find new females and reproduce. He will thus ensure his family's continued existence as Vromba's worthy heir. How will the elephants survive? Will they be able to coexist with man? This is the all-important question, and no one yet has an answer. No one, that is, except perhaps the elephants themselves.